Welcome. I'm really excited to be able to share with you some of secrets that I've learned over the last almost 20 years in the log home business. And there are a lot of things that I think that are going to be a big help. Let's get started. I want first to introduce myself, and I'm Bob Markham. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing at Strongwood Log Home Company, and I'm also Chairman of Marketing for the U.S. Log Homes Council. As I mentioned, I've spent almost 2 decades in the log home business, with all of them with Strongwood, and certainly we're one of the largest log home manufacturers in the U.S. and also one of the largest exporters of log homes. We currently have representatives all over North America and in many countries internationally. Those photos that you see there are me. One at the bottom there, I was doing a class in Europe, and I certainly have shared these secrets all over the world, and so I feel privileged to be able to share some of them with you today. Let's talk about secret number one. That is certainly that you need to understand how the log home business is organized. The log home business is made up of actually two different divisions. One is called handcrafted and the other one is called milled. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in just a minute. The third bullet there says timber frame, and actually timber frame is not log. Timber frame is quite different, but today we're finding that timber frame is incorporated even into log homes and certainly incorporated into many hybrid homes. And we're also going to just talk very briefly about hybrid homes at the end of this chat. First of all, handcrafted. What are handcrafted logs? They actually are pretty easy to recognize because handcrafted logs in a house, just like you see in this photograph here, look like trees. They're bigger at one end and smaller at the other end. They still have all the roughness and bumpiness of a tree. And they're called handcrafted because actually in a log yard, those corner stiles that you see in the photograph there are hand done, and each individual log is fitted to the next log and numbered, disassembled, and hauled to a building site. The second type of log construction is called milled. The milled logs technically are shaped on at least two sides by saws and milling machines, although out of the 200 or 300 different manufacturers in the U.S. today, almost all of them mill logs by shaping them on all four sides, just like you will see in the photograph. That photograph happens to be what we call a D log. It's a D-shaped log, and that happens to be an 8x8 log, 8 inches by 8 inches, with a saddle notch corner. There are three different kinds of milled log manufacturers. There are manufacturers that only make full logs that are milled, and incidentally, those logs can be any one of a number of different kinds of shapes. They could be round, they could be a D log, they could be square. So one type of manufacturer generally only makes full logs. Then there's a type of manufacturer that does only log siding, and often it's called half log or insulated wall, or it's called log siding. In reality, all of it is simply log siding, which can be on the outside only or on the inside and the outside of a framed wall. The third kind of manufacturer, of course, makes both full logs and matching siding to match the full log. So depending on what kind of log you're looking for, you may be looking for a manufacturer that does handcrafted, a manufacturer that does both, or a manufacturer that does full log and log siding, both. So this is your first tip-off about the kind of manufacturer that you're looking for. At Strongwood, we manufacture all of those different kinds of logs, both milled log and handcrafted logs. Let's talk a minute about timber frame. And I mentioned that timber frame is not log. Timber frame has its own catalogs, its own magazines. Strongwood actually manufactures timber frame as well as log, but timber frame, again, is not log. Timber frame is really defined as a method of creating framed structures using very heavy timbers, and those timbers are often joined together using a lap joint. Although more modern times, we'll see a mortise and tenon joint with some pegs in it. But there are different kinds of joinery used in timber frame, and of course the cost varies with the kind of joinery. Here's some great photographs here of a timber frame house on the outside where you don't really see a lot of the framework. And then of course when you look on the inside, you see the actual timber frames spanning across, in this case, a great room. Most of the time, you're going to see timber frames showing up better on the inside of the house than you are the. And finally, we have hybrid homes. And hybrid design certainly can incorporate any kind of materials and any kind of different styles. Hybrid homes can be any floor plan. In fact, a floor plan can be used with any materials, milled logs, handcrafted, timber frame. Hybrid designs incorporate a number of different materials, and I've listed some of them here: milled logs, handcrafted logs, timber frame, bark, stone, cedar shakes, stucco, and wood siding. This photograph is interesting because see if you can see the 5 different materials that are used in that one home. Let me help you find them. If you look starting on the left there, you'll see that there's some stucco, which is probably ephes, and then we see some stone in that gable end. If we go to the left, up above the front door, we'll see our bark product, and then we'll see a timber frame, a frame actually over the front door. And then as we go to the left by the garage, we'll see some other framework. And of course, there's some stone pillars there. So that home is incorporating a number of different building materials, and they come together very nicely, and we certainly can make that work for you. This is the conclusion of the #1 secret in our series of 10 secrets. And please watch for the next secret coming up soon. And if you'd like to be notified when that one is available, and it'll be available very shortly, please send me an email or contact the representative or the dealer who sent you this beginning of the 10 secrets to a great new log home. You can email me with any kind of questions or any comments you have, and my email address is listed there. Thank you so much for listening and for looking forward to our next #2 secret.